We can reveal disturbing claims tonight that the use of outdated teaching methods is being linked to a crisis of illiteracy among young children in Wales. Growing numbers of children are arriving at secondary school barely able to read. Now, for decades, reading levels in Wales have been far lower than the rest of the UK and indeed the international average. But in the most recent international reading tests taken 2 years ago, Welsh children plummeted to their worst ever score. The school's watchdog previously warned that a fifth of Welsh children are leaving primary school functionally illiterate. Well, now ITV News has discovered that many Welsh schools are encouraged to use teaching methods that some claim are not just outdated, but actually damaging. Our Wales reporter Rhys Williams investigates.
What even the pockets?
Every night, Poppy tries desperately to catch up. When she first fell behind, her mum Lisa wasn't too worried. She was told to just keep reading at home and it would click eventually. But it didn't. Now 11, Poppy has started secondary school with the reading age of a 4-year-old.
Danger. In her head, she's not that big kid that can read and write independently. She spent a lot of the summer sort of, when are we going to school? What will we be doing? How will I know where I'm going? How do I know what I'm doing? Because obviously she's got a timetable, but she can't read the timetable.
Poppy is one of tens of thousands across Wales leaving primary school unable to read. She's the victim of the fact that methods of teaching reading that have been proven not to work are still being taught in schools all over the country, with young kids being told to use pictures to guess difficult words rather than concentrating on sounding them out.
We are going to start by reviewing a previous sound. Shh. Shh. Die out.
In Merthyr Tydfil, this nursery class is learning sounds and blending them together to make complete words. This is known as phonics.
Harper, can you say the sound?
Decades ago, reading scientists discovered this was the most effective way of teaching very young children how to read. It's particularly effective for disadvantaged pupils.
Swing.
The head here tells me they've all but eliminated the gap between the poorest pupils and their peers.
Systematic synthetic phonics will change the lives of our children because they're going to leave here with such a key literacy skill unlocked for them that, whatever their aspirations are for life, reading isn't going to be the thing that holds them back, and we're really proud of that here.
But this school is one of a tiny minority in Wales who teach this way. Most use another approach alongside phonics, with kids encouraged to also use pictures and context when they get stuck. The problem is, decades ago scientists concluded this teaching method was not only ineffective, but damaging. It confuses young children, making it more difficult for them to learn to read. It even has the effect of cancelling out the benefits of phonics. We've analysed dozens and dozens of these primary school inspection reports and found that not only are these flawed methods still in use in Wales, they're commonplace. In more than 100 of these recent reports, schools are actually being praised for using these outdated techniques by inspectors.
It's a retrograde step, and that's really concerning.
We shared our findings with one of the UK's leading experts on reading development.
I don't really know what to say, because that is not something that I would expect to read about teaching in a school in the 21st century, because we've just moved light years away from that. It is a very worrying statement, because I presume schools will read that and think that that is what they should be doing.
Since abolishing queuing, reading levels in England and around the world have risen considerably. According to reading experts, the situation in Wales is down to the government and not the fault of teachers who don't know their methods are wrong. This primary school teacher fears children from poorer backgrounds and those with learning difficulties are being particularly let down.
So they go up into secondary school unable to access their school curriculum because they can't read the words which are being put in front of them in the curriculum materials. We are currently just completely failing and letting our children down.
We asked multiple times to speak to the Cabinet Secretary for Education, but she refused. We also sent a list of questions to her department. These were not answered. Instead, they sent a statement saying they do not advocate one specific method to teach reading, and that the systematic and consistent teaching of phonics must be a key part of the toolkit in schools. The effects of illiteracy can be devastating. For parents like Lisa, the understandable anxiety this causes is clear.
I sort of think, how would she cope if I wasn't here? You know, who's going to tell her, you know, to read that sign, or how to read a packet on something, because at the minute she wouldn't be able to read it. So it's hard.
Getting the teaching of reading right early is crucial. The worry in Wales is that many children continue to be set up to fail.
Well, let's go to Rhys now. And Rhys, this is a really troubling report, isn't it? What's been the reaction there?
Well, in response to our investigation, the two main opposition parties here in Wales have heavily criticised the government. The Tories say Labour's stubbornness means they'd rather see illiterate pupils than admit they've got this wrong, while Plaid Cymru say it's not good enough that children aren't being taught the basics in our schools. And during the course of working on this story, I spoke with many parents who didn't want to go on camera, who had the same anxiety about their kids as Lisa, who you saw in the report there, had about Poppy. This is a widespread problem, and it's important to reiterate that experts say this is not the fault of teachers who don't know that these flawed methods they're being directed to use were actually debunked decades ago. What we've shown is that this is a systemic problem, and one that reading scientists say the government needs to get to grips with, and urgently so.
Rhys Williams in Cardiff, thank you.